So let's look at the jump list right now. And notice that we have two different lines there. And let's say that I want to add the word default, the one that is shown here where my cursor is. I want to add it in inline code, but I don't want to jump to that location, add it, and then come back. I can use the flash remote functionality. If on this link I type gd, notice that it took me to this other file. Let's open the jump list and let's see what we have there. Let's look at the jump list here. Jumps, notice that I have two other files, right? Because all of the other jump items are in those two files. All right, so what are we doing today? I'm going to go over jumps, jump list, another plugin that I recently installed, and a few other things. So let's start with jumps. Let me open a file here, this test markdown file. And first, let's look at my jump list. I'm just gonna type this command, jumps. Notice at the bottom right corner, there's nothing. So I'm going to be navigating through the file. So I'm just gonna type here 4j, go 4 lines down, open this. Let's go 5 lines down. And let's see the jump list. Let's see what do we have there. Nothing there yet. We're gonna learn about the list in a little while and a few other things. Now let's try something different. I'm going to go to the very bottom or top of the file, right? So if I type this, goes to the very bottom of the file, and I'm going to do here Control O to go back to where I was. So let's look at the jump list right now. And notice that we have two different lines there, 222 and 435. Let me bring it up again. We can see them there, right? So let's try to do something different. Let's go to the very top of the file, right? So GG takes me to the very top of the file, Control O, and I'm just going to jump back. Let's look at the list again. Notice that we have 3 items in the list. We can see the line number in there, right? Line 435, 222, and 1. So how can I jump between the items in that list? If I do Control O, it takes me back to the very beginning, or is it to the end? I don't know, but one of the two. If I do Control I, I'm just going to jump the list the other direction, right? So Control I again. This is the last, this is the last jump. So Control I takes you to the last place. And if I do Control O, previous one and previous one, right? So what happens if I just navigate the file with Control U and Control D as usual, right? So let me just go 5 down here and let me go 10 down here. So if I do Control U, Control D, let's see if those are added into the jump list. So let's bring it up again. Notice that they're not, right? And what happens if I just navigate with J and K? Are those added to the jump list? They're not. What else? What if I use flash? If I want to jump to the word that says there default, I'm just going to type here SDEF. Notice that flash kicks in, right? So if I type this letter here, the letter L, the one that you see here, that is gonna make me jump to this word. So let's type it, L. Notice that I jumped there. Let's look at the jump list. And default doesn't show there yet, but let me go back. Let me go to this one again. Let's see, jump list, and it's there. There are snippets configured is the last entry. So if I use flash, it adds item to my jump list. Why am I creating this video? Because a few days ago, I released another video. Where is it? Flash.nvim. Yep, this is the video. I talk about Flash and how we achieve some cool stuff with the plugin. And it's what is known as remote actions. So for example, let me jump to this other location here. And let's say that I want to add the word default, the one that is shown here where my cursor is. I want to add it in inline code, but I don't want to jump to that location, add it, and then come back. I can use the flash remote functionality. So if I do GSA, that is in LazyVim, by the way. And now I type the letter R for remote. Now I just type a word here, DEF. Notice that this shows me the word that I want to surround in inline code, right? So if I do LIW to select the current word, notice what shows at the bottom right corner. Enter output surrounding identifier. So I'm just going to type here this character, the tilde. Notice that it was surrounded and I jumped back to where I was. I'm just going to do U to undo these changes. So I went over that in the video. Not only that, but a few other things, tricks. So if you want to go and check it out, go and check it out. I explained how Flash works and how I use it in that video. But a lot of comments in that video were referring to the jump list, right? So if I go here, 16 up again, and well, I could have done Control O. So if I do Control I here, Control O, Control I takes me back, right? So what's a different way of doing this? So if I type S, Flash is going to bring up DEF. I can jump there. GSS to select that, and then I can do Control O to jump back. So a lot of people were mentioning that Control O thing a lot. And I was like, I don't use Control O a lot. I do use it sometimes if I need to jump between files, right? Let's look at my jump list right now. Jumps. Notice that I have how many? 5 items here. And I'm going to go to a different section, to the testing marksman links. 27 down. Let's go there. 2 down. Let's go here. 2 down. So what if I want to jump to this file? I use an LSP. It's called marksman, which is the one that allows me to jump between files. If you don't know how that works, I have a video. You can go and check it out. And this is the video shown here. My complete Neovim markdown setup and workflow 2024. So if I want to jump to this other file, it's a completely different node. You can see the name of this file here at the very top, right? So if on this link I type GD, notice that it took me to this other file. Let's open the jump list and let's see what we have there. Notice that all of the items point to the other file, the file that I was on before. So if I do Control O, I'm going to jump back here. If I do Control O, I'm going to keep going back in my jump list. Control I takes me forward, and this is the last one, the one in this file, right? So same thing. If I want to go to a different file, right? This zone transfers. I'm going to type here GD. It's going to jump to that file, right? And let's look at the jump list here. Jumps, notice that I have 2 other files, right? Because all of the other jump items are in those 2 files. So if I do Control O, notice where it takes me to the test markdown file. Control O takes me to the other file. Control O, Control O. So I'm just jumping between the different items. And as you can tell, this is really useful, and it helps you navigate different locations that you have navigated in your file before without jumping around too much. So using Control I and Control O is something that I'm going to start doing way more often. I already did start, but I hope I continue using that, right? So that covers the first part, which is the demo that I show right now. Let's look at the help. So in case that you want to learn more about jumps, you just come here. Well, in the distribution that I'm using, which is LazyVim, leader SH brings up this help picker. So I'm just going to type here jumps. Let's see if I go to jumps. What do we have there? Let's go to the top here. Let's go up there, jumps. You can read here and everything is explained really wonderfully. So a jump is a command that normally moves the cursor several lines away. If you make the cursor jump, the position of the cursor before the jump is remembered. You can return to that position with the single quote 2 times or the tilde 2 times. Let me show you what that is. Just gonna open this vertically, right? So we can see it better there. So leader sh, jump list, control V, I think it is. Yep. So where are we here? Let's jump up here a little bit more. Where are we? Jumps. Yep, here. This is where we were. So what does this mean? Let's say that, let's jump here to the left, images in Neovim. Let me make this a little bit smaller, right? So if I jump to the very bottom or top of this file, and then I type 2 times the single quote, if I type it here, it's gonna jump back to where I was. Let's do it again. Jumps back to the previous jump item. So I can type here to jump between the last 2 locations. The same thing happens if I do it with the tilde, right? So notice the same thing is happening there. So that is what this on the right means, this. Unless the line containing that position was changed or deleted. The following commands are jump commands, right? So we just noticed this. I think this is the one for marks. G to go to the top or bottom of the file. GG as well. If you search for something, that is also added into the jump list. And there's more here, right? So you can understand how that works. Control O to the older cursor position. We already demoed that. Control I or tab to go to the latest position. There's a note in here. Pay attention to that. We already saw this as well, the jumps command, and how you can also clear jumps. I'm gonna show you how I clear the jumps and why I do it. So we already demoed this, I think. There is the jump list. Just shows you there what everything means. Keep jumps. Notice that it talks about here the keep jumps command. Jumps are not stored in the jump list. Okay, that is useful. I did use that. And I think here there's just more examples. Jump options. I don't know, I didn't go through all this, but I'm just gonna get you started with this and you can continue then on your own. So that's how you can look at the help there. Just going to mark this as done. Relative line numbers. This is like the 4th time that I re-enable relative line numbers because I never got used to them, but I think I will have to get used to them. If I want to jump 13 lines below, I can do it with relative line numbers. I usually do this, right? I leave K pressed and J pressed, but notice what shows on the bottom right corner, hardtime.nvim. Yep, I installed the plugin because I want to jump more efficiently in my files. So the way that I should do it is with Control U, Control D to go up or down, or with line numbers, 11 up, there we go. So I'm getting used to that. Let me show you where my config is for the hardtime one. Well, and why did I actually enable relative line numbers? Because I was having a conversation with, where is it? Yep. With Dolev, he uses relative line numbers. He uses them also in the mini.files plugin. I have not enabled that. Go and check this video if you want to see that in action. And the configuration is in his .files. But yep, I just decided to do it. This is the last chance that I will give to relative numbers, and hopefully I will keep them enabled. Now, where is my hardtime.nvim configuration? Let's see. Let me jump to my .files here. There it is. So nothing major there, right? Just since I use the LazyVim distribution, it has custom key maps for K and J. I needed to add this for it to work. So give it a try, right? Because otherwise I could navigate freely with K and J here if I didn't add this. Sometimes it works, I'm not exactly sure, but notice here it doesn't work. And that's what I wanted, right? So what is that plugin? It just allows you to navigate more efficiently, and it shows you hints of things that you could be doing better, right? It blocks your movements as well. If you wanted to do that, you can configure it. I think that's the default. And something else that I modified as well is my color scheme. Just modify the colors a little bit. Let me know what you guys think. Let me open my keymaps.lua file, and let's go down here. Looks a little bit different. It has more contrast because I used to have a lot of blues and greens, and I couldn't see some things. I'm getting older, and I just need to see or differentiate the colors a little bit better. But I have two variants of this. Where's the other one? Hyper-CN. It's gonna bring up this color scheme selector, and I have these two, radioactive-fiambre and this pastel-fiambre, which is lighter. Let me just select this one, and it's just going to apply the colors everywhere. You're gonna see that other set of colors. Let's see. Yep, this is the other one. It looks lighter for people that don't like bright colors. I do prefer the other one, this one. So I'm just gonna switch back to that. But just in case you want to learn more about it, I do have a video. And is the video shown here. Color scheme selector. I changed the colors not only in Neovim, but I also changed them in the terminal. I changed them in Kitty, in the bar here above, which is sketchy bar in macOS, and everywhere, basically. Even in BTOP and a lot of other different places. So what else do we have here? Color scheme. If you want to test my configuration, my distribution, I use it mainly for markdown editing, right? So you can go to my .files. They are shown here, .files latest. Here are instructions on how to get my configuration. Where is it? Here. In case you want to test out my Neovim config, just go to my .files. The instructions are there. I even have a video. It's shown here. And remember, if you like my .files, give them a star. And yeah, just that. Just give them a star. And I'm just going to quit this file, right? And I'm just going to open Neovim again. I'm going to restore the session. I'm not going to open a new file. Just going to type S here to restore the session. Let's look at the jump list. Notice that it's empty. Is that something that I wanted to happen? Yes. Otherwise, you're going to have a lot of items in your jump list, and you're going to be jumping between files. I didn't want that. I'll keep it like this for now. Every time that I reopen Neovim, the jump list is cleared. That is just something personal. Let me show you how I did it. I don't remember where I did it. Autocmd, I think. Here. Yep. Notice that I left a comment there. Clear jumps when I open Neovim. Otherwise, there's a lot of crap that links to different files. Trying this, and we'll see if it works or not. So far, it has worked okay for me. I think I will keep it on because I do want my jump list to be cleared every time that I restart Neovim, basically. So I hope that this video is useful. Please, if you have any other tips, tricks, share them in the YouTube comments. I will go and check them out and see if I can gather or get, useful information on better ways to navigate and to use Neovim so we can all learn together. Finally, I just want to thank the supporters. Where are these guys listed? Okay, so I have them listed here. The YouTube members and the Ko-fi one-time donations. Remember as well, I forgot to add it here, all of the long view videos, like the ones that are over an hour, and the interviews, basically, just the interviews. Those are podcasts now, so you can listen to them in Spotify and all of the different places. If you cannot find it in one of the audio platforms, just let me know, and I'll be more than glad to add them there. And if you want to join Discord as well, I'm going to leave a link in the description for this video. So I think I did cover everything. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.